Breaking. Trudeau heads to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump after tariff threats. So Trump threatened Canadian imports with a 25% tariff if the country does not control illegal immigration and drug trafficking across the border. This used to not be a problem between our countries. And it's an embarrassment that it even has to be said, the threat has to be made, that it has to be even mentioned. But this is what you get with a Justin Trudeau, with a globalist like Justin Trudeau, who doesn't apparently even think that nations should exist. He said that Canada was the first post-national country, whatever that's supposed to mean. I guess just globalists somewhere in Davos just decide what happens with Canada. Canadians don't have any say in it. That's the way that Justin Trudeau has been governing. Unfortunately, enough of the country, most of the country, has cottoned onto this now and wants him the hell out. But it's an embarrassment that this is even an issue. This was never an issue before. It shouldn't be an issue now. But this is what happens when you have an incompetent globalist fancy boy run your country but certainly for 9 years. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. I hope the rest of the world has learned from this, has learned from our mistakes. Not that I ever voted for him. I sure as hell didn't. But anyway, it is an issue. Trudeau government vows to increase border security to try to stave off 25% tariff from Trump. So here's the problem, is that Trudeau doesn't know how to do anything. He knows how to buy votes by increasing public sector jobs. So what I would expect is he'll allocate an enormous amount of money and then use it to create a giant bureaucracy which will do nothing except, in theory, buy him votes. That would be his pattern, right? He's good at just throwing money away and giving Canadians nothing in return for it. But let's take a look. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government is promising to bolster security at the Canada-US border after President-elect Donald Trump demanded he do so or face a 25% tariff on all Canadian products. Trudeau held an emergency meeting Wednesday with Canada's premiers to develop what he calls a Team Canada response to the tariff threat, the Toronto Star reported. I know Alberta is already taking it into its own hands by making plans to patrol the border with Montana. And the premiers don't take Trudeau very seriously. Who would exactly, right? But I mean, I guess a Team Canada, United Canada approach is good, but it's just nobody has any confidence in Trudeau. And Trump is not, I mean, he's presented by the media, by the far left, by the narrative media, as that he just loves tariffs. He just loves them. He can't get enough. All he wants to do is put tariffs on everything. He just inherently loves them. They're the thing he loves most. There's not even any purpose behind it. He just loves tariffs. He just has this unreasonable love for tariffing other countries. What it is, it's leverage. He's a businessman. He goes in and he goes, what's my leverage? He sees that's a big stick to wield, right? You've got the carrot, you've got the stick. He sees unfair trade practices and he thinks, well, here is some leverage that I have. Or he looks at the disgraceful state of the Canadian government right now, border security and immigration, which is all actually a national security threat for the United States. And he says, well, what leverage do I have? Well, tariffs is an easy one. I'll use that. It's not that he's just dying to put tariffs on everybody. It's just that it's a weapon to use. It's leverage to get what you want, which frankly would be better for both countries. Let's go here. Let's see Pierre Poilievre. So he's saying 500,000 people are living illegally in Canada after 9 years of Justin Trudeau. He has no plan to fix our broken immigration and protect our borders. So again, Trump wants increased border security. He doesn't want people flocking across the border, people that the United States doesn't want running across the border illegally from Canada. And there's an important reason for this. From the National Post, Canada yielding 87% of all terrorist suspects stopped at U.S. border crossings. 87% of terrorist suspects stopped at the U.S. border. That's coming from Canada. This is a national security concern, an obvious one that this would be important for any country. But let's hear at Pierre Poilievre here.
This week, Prime Minister has lost control. He's lost control of immigration, lost control of our borders. And now we're facing massive threats to our economy. Right now, there are as many as 500,000 people here illegally. There are 700,000 students who came here with the implicit promise they'd be able to stay forever. And now they're being told they have to leave with the temptation that they might head south for the much stronger economy than we have here, which would provoke a massive retaliatory tariff. So what's the plan to reverse all the damage the Prime Minister's done?
Hundreds of thousands of people come here as temporary residents, and then they leave. Some become permanent residents. There is a plan to achieve that. They will migrate into permanent residency, but not all can stay here. And when they refuse to do so, they will be removed.
Speaker, that member hallucinates almost as badly as his weak leader, who refuses to stand and answer for his own border failures. Let's look at his record. He opened Roxham Road. He kept it open for a year longer than the Americans required. He put out a tweet saying, "Welcome to Canada," inviting people to come here illegally. According to that minister's department, there are 500,000 people here illegally, all of whom could be tempted to go south of the border, provoking a massive retaliatory response. So once again, what's the plan to fix what he broke?
Yeah, let's not forget about Mother Trudeau telling when during Trump's first term, and he was deporting people that were in the United States illegally, especially criminals, people who had been rejected by the American immigration system, right? Mother Trudeau, very, very generously, he didn't ask us about it, by the way, just said, yeah, come to Canada. Come up, as many as you can, come up to Canada. Just come across illegally. It's great. We'll take you. A lot of us thought that was fucking nuts, but it's exactly the sort of thing you'd get from an empty-headed fancy boy like Justin Trudeau. 500,000 people living illegally in Canada after 9 years of Justin Trudeau. Well, let's see. Canada underestimating non-permanent resident count by nearly 1 million, according to CIBC. So, I mean, we got that number 500,000. I think it's much more than that. CIBC Deputy Chief Economist Benjamin Tal wrote in a report released Wednesday that official statistics are missing nearly 1 million people in their count of non-permanent residents due to gaps in the census and the fact that many residents stay past the expiry of their visas. Tal estimates the number of NPRs who overstayed their visa expiry date between 2017 and 2022 was north of 750,000. That's from 2023, so it's going to be worse than that now. How about this? 4.9 million with expiring visas expected to leave Canada voluntarily next year from the Immigration Minister, Mark Miller. Yeah, they're just going to leave voluntarily, just like these at least 750,000 here who overstayed their visa expiry date. Sure. What's the plan again? Because whatever the plan is, it's not working. And I don't expect whatever plan that Trudeau has is going to work any better here. Again, Canada yielding 87% of all terror suspects stopped at U.S. border crossings. This is bad. This is a security threat. How many got through? So let's go back here. Trudeau government vows to increase border security to try to stave off 25% tariff from Trump. Now, again, don't expect anything to actually happen, anything effective to happen from Trudeau. He'll come out with the right words here, right? But he's not capable, nor do I think he really has the desire to do any of this. Again, he's just a straight up globalist. I don't believe that Trudeau thinks that borders should exist in the first place. I don't think he even believes that countries should have interesting names, right? It should just be like Economic Zone 1, Economic Zone 1B, that sort of thing. I think, Trudeau has a true globalist brain, I think. So he's going down to talk to Trump. What will come of this? Again, words and then nothing. And, it'll be an attempt to try to hold off Trump and the tariffs until the next election. I think that Trump understands that Trudeau is not going to be the prime minister of the country. He's not going to be the leader of the country past October next year at the latest. Maybe earlier than that, we can get rid of him. But I think it's probably doubtful. He is going to cling on. He's going to cling on desperately until the end. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.